These are drivers that have been demonstrating vehicles, same vehicle travelling at the same speed, and you're looking at anything up to a car's length difference in stopping. And that literally could be the difference between life and death.
Senior figures in the highways industry are campaigning to revive the use of a proven, life-saving road surface treatment, used successfully in the UK for more than 5 decades, but no longer utilised as it once was. High-friction surfacing can be laid at road junctions, pedestrian crossings, roundabouts and other danger spots. But in the years of austerity, the treatment has been applied less and less. Leaders of the Road Safety Surfacing Association believe it's time to remind engineers and highways authorities about high-friction surfacing and the compelling case for its use. At Bruntingthorpe Airfield, for the Seeing is Believing Highways event, a lane of high-friction surfacing was laid next to an asphalt lane in the approach to a pedestrian crossing.
The high-friction that we laid out there is a BBA-approved, APAS-approved product to give the level of friction that you need to reduce stopping distances. And reducing stopping distance is important because it's the difference between an accident or not an accident, or even worse than that, it's the difference between an injury or even a fatality.
In an experiment lasting 45 minutes, identical BMWs were repeatedly driven alongside one another and braked together. Every time, the car on the high-friction surfacing stopped first. Not once did the car on the asphalt stop first. Tests on these surfaces were carried out soon after with a pendulum skid resistance tester. The skid resistance value required in the BBA HAPAS approval scheme to qualify as high-friction surfacing is a minimum of 65. In this instance, the high-friction surface scored 85. The surprise was that the asphalt surface scored 75, a much higher level than standard road surfaces. The comparative stopping distances on the high-friction surface were therefore all the more impressive. Finn Guff from RSSA Marketing watched the demonstrations.
This is Type 1 hot applied high friction surface, buff colour. The colour originates from the aggregate that we use in the formula, and it's one of the most prevalent high friction surfacing materials on the roads in the UK at the moment. The high friction surfacing reduces braking distance. It's as simple as that. It provides a much more robust braking surface than asphalt on its own, and it's proven to reduce braking distances, particularly in high stress, high braking zones such as approaches to pedestrian crossings, roundabouts, junctions, etc.
The British Board of Agreement have surveyed more than 200 high friction surface sites throughout the UK over the last 2 years, enabling them to report on typical lifespan of all approved systems, modes of failure, factors that may affect performance. The BBA looked at substrate type, substrate condition, erosion, site age, site category, and system colour. They inspected all types of installation and reported 90% of sites up to 11 years old were acceptable, or better than acceptable. All systems lasted more than 5 years. Substrate condition and preparation were vital elements. The BBA emphasised that high-friction surfacing is not a patching treatment for failing substrate, but a crucial safety feature on a substrate with integrity. The BBA believed that high-friction surfacing remains fit for purpose and that approved systems continue to provide long-term safety benefits. Some UK industry leaders are now looking to the USA for confirmation, for the Americans have recently taken to high-friction surfacing in a big way. John Lloyd, chairman of the Road Safety Surfacing Association.
It's hard to understand why all of a sudden it's gathered such momentum, because they really are quite excited about the value of high-friction surfacing. We invited a speaker to our own RSMA conference, and he was keen to stress how much he admired the work that's been done in the UK and the impact the high friction surface treatments have had. The main benefits are obviously in reducing stopping distances and also improving the stability of the cars on very sharp bends. That's the major impact in the United States, really. At a meeting I attended in February of 2014, the first 2 years of data is showing very significant reductions in accidents and deaths on the road. They just need more data to make it statistically sound.
I think the message is loud and clear. If you want to save lives, then you have to use the right product for it, and there is no product that can beat good high friction surfacing. Proper high friction surfacing, not anti-skid surfacing or asphaltic based surfacing, but high friction surfacing is without doubt the most effective means of reducing accidents at junctions and at crossings. The high friction surfacing, which is bauxite based, is far more effective and sustainably effective as well.
Use the high friction surfacing low cost engineering tool wherever you possibly can, because one day it might be your life that it saves.
The most recent UK data that we have, which was gathered by ROSPA, incorporating figures from the Transport Research Laboratory, showed an accident reduction of 57% in the first year and a first year rate of return of more than 350%.
What would you say about those figures?
I think they speak for themselves. I believe the message should be that this is too important a road safety feature to forget and to dispatch to history. I think it's played a major part in reducing accidents in the UK and saving lives, and that really it has to remain at the forefront of the engineer's mind.
The BBA HAPAS approval scheme is designed so that only products that have undergone rigorous testing and assessment are accredited. Highways customers can be confident that high-friction surfacing materials installed on a well-maintained substrate will meet their safety priorities, medium-term and long-term. Indeed, the evidence points to high-friction surfacing being the safest surface solution available when installed on viable substrate.
And on the count of 3, 3, 2, 1.
Leaders of the RSSA and the Road Safety Markings Association will now press the case for high-friction surfacing because they know that it gives an almost unparalleled reduction in accidents, a high value in its rate of return, and that it remains effective in the long term. Their member companies have a vital interest in maintaining the quality of HFS installation. They support correct investment decisions on highways, knowing that the roads are the economic arteries of the UK, and knowing of the misery, chaos and economic loss caused by accidents.